things leading to this intelligent mind. Unless you want to take these absurd probabilities as facts, which they're not.
And the point here is
I
this.
just don't really see how me saying that DNA randomly mutates is an
But
absurd.
in reality...
No. It's not saying... Look, it's not saying that the DNA random mutating is absurd. What's absurd is the probability that that mutation is something positive.
What do you mean by positive?
That it's beneficial that natural selection could then utilize to make into some new organism.
That is beneficial, but I'm not talking about
I
beneficial.
think we're getting bogged down into DNA.
No.
He doesn't understand the science behind it.
I'm not a scientist.
No, you understand that. I understand that. So I'm not going to go too heavy on it, but what I'm saying is, what you're saying is, I'm sure DNA random mutates. But you're not sure. Because I'm telling you you're wrong with regards to that, because that's what I'm saying to you. For it to random mutate, to create a protein that is useful, that natural selection can then utilize to become a new organism, yeah? The probabilities is so absurd to even consider it is absurd. But the problem you've got, you see, is because once you...
I'm just not too sure about that.
No, I know. So what I want you to do, this is EF Tower. Yeah, this is our channel, mashallah. I want you to watch the video. I want you to see what's been said to you today. And I want you to go and test it. Because here's the thing, if I'm right...
So you're saying that DNA does not self-replicate, and when it does self-replicate...
No, what I said to you, for DNA
So you agree it mutates?
It can mutate.
Yeah, sure. And how does it... What's the process of it mutating? Tell me, please.
What do you mean?
What's the process of DNA mutating?
Okay, me personally, I don't believe in that. I believe in a creator. I believe in an intelligent design. I don't believe information can be created from other than an intelligent agency. I just don't believe it. You can tell me that DNA containing all that information about what color eyes I'm going to have and all this
What
kind
does
of stuff.
intelligent mean, though?
What do you mean?
When you say you don't believe anything comes out other than...
What do you think intelligent means?
I'm not sure. You're the one who said
Well,
it.
do you understand the word intelligent?
Okay.
Well, do I have to Google the word intelligent for you to understand it?
But I want to know in what context you're using it.
Well, what
Obviously,
context can
words
you
are-
use it?
In a lot of different contexts.
Give me an example.
You're being a bit annoying right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, so give me two examples where you can use the word intelligent differently.
I feel like we're getting away from the point.
No, you just said, what context am I using the word intelligent? I said there's only one context you can use the word intelligent. Just demonstrate that I'm wrong. Just give me two ways you can use the word intelligent. Because I think intelligent can only mean one thing.
Well, if something's... Maybe that's something I'll come back to you next time.
Yeah. You'll probably come back and say I was wrong about that statement.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Because sometimes what happens in this kind of environment, you feel you have to say things to try and, I don't know.
No, honestly, I'm just here to genuinely search for the truth.
All right,
I feel like you're being the more aggressive one here, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you say things that don't make sense, I have to challenge it.
My point to you...
You can have good cop now.
My point to you is
I'm going to
this.
check the United States.
I don't mind.
My point to you is this, right? That whenever we see something that's incredibly complex, we automatically, intuitively realize that...
Realize or assume?
Realize, it's the same sort of... It's the synonymous words, aren't they? Realizing something, assuming something, believing something, right? That it must have come from an intelligent mind. Now, intelligence is something that's...
But then I completely disagree. I don't know. I just don't feel like that is like a brute fact that...
Let me give you a real life explanation, right? Let's say you go to Cape Canaveral, right? And you see the space shuttle there, okay? And you look at the complexity, the grandeur, the huge, construction of this space shuttle, the electronics, all the little screens and the chips and all the things that must have gone into this, right? What is your assumption? Your assumption is, from everything that you know and understand, that someone must have, or some people must have created this, right? It's normal to assume that, right? You would never assume that metal just fell from the sky and the tornado just struck everything together and then bang, you had this beautiful space shuttle. You would never assume that, would you?
Yeah.
So when you look at the universe, which is far more complex than that space shuttle, that has far more intricate laws, as I say, that go to hundreds and hundreds of decimal places for the precision to be the way it is, for the universe to even function, okay? Why do you come up with the assumption that it must have somehow just come about by itself? That's my point.
it's not really that I'm assuming that is the case.
Yes.
I'm just sort of admitting that there is a chance for that.
You know, I agree with you. But the point here is this. There is a chance that you could be an alien lizard man, right? I wouldn't know, would I? Right? There is a chance, right?
Yeah.
On balance of probability. Very low, but there could be, right? But I'm not going to look at you and
But I
think...
mean, it's a lot more easy for you to verify that I'm not. But when we're talking about these abstract concepts about the universe and
Yes.
everything, it's a lot harder for me
Yes.
to actually verify myself.
Okay, but I haven't verified you, have I?
I mean, you're looking at me right now. You're talking to me
Yeah,
right
but
now.
you could be a lizard man, an alien, right?
I mean,
You could be, right?
there's-
But if
perhaps there's a chance.
but if I believe that about you, what would these people think of me?
Probably that
You're nuts.
Yeah.
That's what they would think, right? Why would they think that? They would think that because I've gone for something so absurd, so outrageous, so unlikely, that it's bordering stupidity, bordering insanity, right? Bordering something very negative, right? Similarly, when we look at the universe, and this is what Allah says in the Quran, we will show them from the horizons and from within themselves of the manifest truth, you know, the manifest of this religion, Islam, of Allah, right? So the point here is that when we look at the cosmos, when we look at this universe, we can assume certain things, right? But I would suggest that the only rational, reasonable assumption that we can make is that it must have come from an intelligent being that is way more powerful than anything you or I could conjure up, or any human beings could conjure up, okay? And that's the assumption that I would arrive at as quite a logical assumption. Now, if you have an alternative view to that, and it is incredibly unlikely for it to happen that way, I would humbly ask you the question, why are you going for that and not that? It's a very reasonable question, right? Why are you grappling at something that is bordering, you know, impossibility, and you're negating and neglecting something that is certainty? That's my point.
I don't know. It's like obviously you're saying that, you know, we're created by God, but it's like you've come to that conclusion through your senses here. That's the sort of argument you made.
No, not really, because that's one argument of many.
So if you were like deaf, blind, all of that, would you be able to come to the same conclusion that you are doing right now?
So in Islam, we believe that every human being has a fitra, a disposition to believe certain things, okay? And one of those things, interestingly, is the belief in a creator. Now, you may have been aware that Oxford University did a study
About kids.
kids.
I heard.
And the overwhelming results were that children are predisposed to believe in a God. And culture...
I mean, you know, it's a study. It's one study of many.
Okay, but look, the thing is this. And this is what I find a little bit sometimes disheartening, you know. If that appears to have some negativity when it comes to a creator or God, you know, people, atheists jump on that study, right? Not that there are any that I'm aware of, to be honest. But at the end of the day, this is a study that's been done. I believe it hasn't really been challenged, right? As far as I'm aware. So I think it would be reasonable to, I'm not saying accept it as absolute fact, but I think using it in an argument is quite reasonable to do, I think.
I can see that. That's fair enough.
Yeah. So there's a predisposition that children have of believing in this creator. And this is very interesting because even the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, every child is born upon its fitrah. And then its family and the culture and the surroundings change the fitrah of that child into a Hindu or a Christian or whatever else,
so
atheist.
So society corrupts the soul.
So society changes the predispositions of believing in a creator.
But then how did the society get corrupted in the first place? How did the society get corrupted in the first place?
Because we believe that when Allah created human beings, the first question that the angels asked Allah, will thou create a being that will spill blood and create mischief on earth? So there is this mischievous nature within human beings as well, corruption within human beings. So there is greed, there are temptations, right?
But you're saying that develops rather than that.
No, I'm not saying that all of that develops. I'm
Because from
saying,
what I know is like that's the sort of point where Islam and Christianity sort of separates, right? The Christians talk about like original sin, Islam
Yes.
say you're born pure, right?
yes, that's right.